Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. Friends, the US markets were down about 0.2 to 0.35% as the market is a little cautious ahead of the earnings season, which is going to start now. Also, European markets were down anywhere from about 1.25 to 1.5% except FTSE, which was up 0.25%, though finally the ESM has been launched with a corpus of 500 billion euros. But overall uncertainty in Greece and Spain continues to remain there, and which is probably playing in the minds of the investors. Looking at the Asian markets today, most of the markets are showing some uptick, particularly Hang Seng and Chinese markets. But Japanese markets are down because yesterday Japan market was shut and most of the Asian markets were down. So Japan is doing some kind of a catch up. And in Japanese markets, we are seeing a lot of weakness in the export oriented stocks like Toyota, Suzuki, Honda, etc., as we are seeing some kind of a strength in the yen. Talking about the flows, friends, yesterday the FIIs were net buyers to the tune of almost 580 crore in the cash market, and the domestic institutions were seller to the tune of about 780 crore. Back home, friends, we had a negative session yesterday also, with both Nifty and Sensex registering a minus 1.2% kind of a loss. And particularly we had seen weakness in some of the heavyweights like Reliance Industries and some of the technology stocks. On that note, let me invite Shaival to take us through important F&O cues and the possible ideas and the strategies in the F&O space.
Good morning friends, let's have a look at derivative data now. Friends, from past couple of trading sessions we have been seeing that markets is on the rise and the FI's flow is also pretty good. But what we have seen in yesterday's trade is that they were net seller of around approximately 238 crores, and the yesterday's sell-off has been taken as an opportunity by the market participants to square off their short positions. What we have also seen is that the PCR ratio is at 1.02, which is still a comfortable zone, and probably what we have seen is that whenever it's near the mark of 1, probably a bounce has been witnessed in the market, and also the opening of SGX Nifty is suggesting that we would have an gap up opening of around 30 to 40 points. Now focusing on the implied volatility, we have seen that the implied volatility have increased by say 2 to 5%, and from past 2 to 3 sessions we have been seeing a continuous uptake in the implied volatility. Now on the strikes front, 5,600 put option stands with highest number of shares in the open interest, that is 61 lakh shares. So 5,650 is the range for the on weekly basis on the lower side which we are aiming. So 5,600, 5,650 would act as a crucial level to watch on. If that's taken off, then 5,500 would remain an important level to watch on, not only because it's the next strike which stands with the highest number of shares in the open interest, but because it is the straddle break-even point on the lower side for the current series. Whereas on the higher side, we have seen that the focus from the deep out of the money strikes like 6,000, 6,100 has shifted to 5,800 and 900 and 5,700. So probably 5,780, which is the weekly VWAP, would act as a resistance for the market in the coming days. Market would also remain volatile and uncertain as there is lack of clarity, or say in absence of any events to play on. From intraday perspective, we have identified 3 stocks. Bharti Airtel is looking positive with support of 267 rupees 95 paisa. IFCI is also looking positive with support of 30 rupees 70 paisa, whereas we'll recommend to go short on Steel Authority of India with resistance of 86 rupees 80 paisa. Now speaking about the sector specific performance in yesterday's trade, auto sector overall has seen squaring off of long positions, but 2 specific stocks like Apollo and Bharat Forge has seen some creation of short position, whereas Reliance Industry and Petronet LNG in yesterday's trade have seen a good accumulation of long positions. Probably more than 11% of open interest has been added in Reliance Industry. And in banking sector also, stocks like Allahabad Bank, Andhra Bank, IDBI, Karnataka Bank and PNB is looking good. Thank you.
Friends, back home, these are the news that we are tracking. First of all, the EGOM has finally recommended one-time spectrum fee for the telcos who are holding more than 4.4 megahertz of spectrum. This has come into effect with prospective effect. So this would be a big relief for some of the companies like Bharti and Idea. So watch out for some positive action in these two stocks today. SR Group is the first Indian corporate to be able to raise refinancing option by borrowing from the global markets to pay off its high debt rupee debt. This would be positive for SR Oil, so one can go long there with a stop loss of 59.4 and a target of about 62.5 to 63.75. Gayatri project has paid off its entire FCCB settlement amount of about 147 crore, which was a overhang for the stock, and this development is positive, so one can go long on that, and with the stop loss of 113 and a target of about 119 to 122. NMDC has cut iron ore prices by anywhere from 2 to 11%. So this is definitely a negative news for NMDC. One can go short there with a stop loss of 192 and a target of about 182 to 178. And the same thing is positive for JSW Steel because it sources its iron ore from NMDC and some other companies. So one can go long on JSW Steel with a stop loss of 719 and a target of about 756 to about 769. And finally friends, United Spirits has entered into out of court settlement with Kishore Chhabria led Allied Blenders and Distilleries. This friends, remember, is actually a move towards finally entering into a final deal with Diageo, because as per reports Diageo had insisted that all the pending issues or cases should be settled before they finally enter into a deal with United Spirits. So this hurdle has been overcome, and that's a positive news for United Spirits. One can go long with a stop loss of 1158 and a target of about 1217 to 1240. That's it from all of us friends. Have a great trading session and see you tomorrow.